the dose for your vaccination? How are you? How is your feeling? How's your condition after the second dose? No feeling. Good. Okay. Very good, very good. Nice. Oh, okay. Later he will send me the medical certificate. Okay. Just inform her. Just inform him to send me the medical certificate. Is it? Okay. Is everything okay with Fat for Shahmi? For Shahmi Nabil? Is everything okay for him?
Ma'am, I called him many times, but he's not picking up.
Oh.
He said that he was a bit sick yesterday, and not sure about him now. He's not picking up the call, ma'am.
Oh, so you didn't know his condition, lah?
No, ma'am, but he was a bit sick yesterday, so I'm not sure.
Just let him to inform me, like showing me the medical certificate or the hospitalization.
All right, ma'am, I'll tell.
Okay.
If I can reach him, I'll tell him. All right,
yeah. Guys, please take a good care of you guys, eh? Okay, I understand our feelings. Okay, COVID still gonna keep my okay. So yes, okay. Even though we already take the complete dose, but it doesn't mean that we 100% will not get affected. So please, please still following the SOP. Okay, wearing a mask. Don't go out if you don't have anything to do. Okay, like me, I complete my second dose on Saturday. Okay, last Saturday, 7th of August. But I still have the symptom of after effect of the vaccine. Maybe after the vaccine I didn't take a rest, okay, because my elder sister is having a big operation. Okay, so then I didn't have a complete rest after my vaccination. But I get the vaccines, so that's why I feel like I still feel tired, even though it's already 5 days after the vaccine. I still feel tired. Okay, so please guys, take care of yourself, please, 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 please. Okay, if you are feeling like you feel burnt out, okay, or stressed, and you need someone to talk, please find your friends, okay, to talk and do okay, and do something that you like to do. Okay, maybe you like to play a game, or you would like to watch a drama or movie. So do something that make you happy. Okay, because when we stay at home too long, okay, the higher chances of our body to have the burnout, to have a mental health is very high. So please, and if you don't have a friends to talk, you can message me. Maybe you want to ask about your, okay, you want to talk with me, then just message me through the Teams. There is a few students who just simply say hi to me because she said that my student said that he or she didn't know what to do, but she feel lonely, so she just want to have someone to talk, and then they just message me saying hi and just have a talk, simple talk. Okay. Wait, wait, sorry. Okay, sorry guys. See, okay, No, I will not rest rest now. I will rest at night. Okay, Lim Lip How. Sorry. See? Because these past few days, okay, I need to take care of my elder sister and my fathers. Okay, so there is a lot of thing in my mind. Sorry. I forget to upload the file before that. Okay, the slide before that. Sorry, I will upload now. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, Lim Hao. Okay. Wait. Because I need to take care of my fathers, okay, my sister. So that's why. Okay, so that's why I need to uh, do a lot of things. Wait, you can find it inside Moodle, but wait. Okay, try to download from a Moodle. Try to download from Moodle. It's inside Moodle. Inside Moodle, under the, okay, here. Okay, you can find it inside lecture notes under a folder named module slide. So when you open, you will see chapter 2. Okay, so try to open it. Okay, download and open. Okay, so here we go. Let we start. Because some of you request from me the slide before our class start because you want to type any answer, any extra notes on the on the slide. Okay, so here we go. The slide inside your Moodles you can download. Okay, so let's restart. Sorry. Okay. Here we go to chapter 2. So chapter 3 we will learn about the computational thinking. So don't worry if the theoretical part is like a slight delay. Like during the lab we already learn things before our slide. Okay, the features that we need like the function or the statement such as like the variables. Okay, next week we will learn variables. So don't worry if we learn before the lecture class, because our lab itself is started before our lecture class. So that is why. So don't worry. Okay, here we go, the chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 is about problem solving and algorithm. So in this topic, we will learn about what is problem solving. Okay, what is the algorithm? Okay, what is the problem analysis? When we want to solve a problem, we need to analyze the problem, analyze the problem first. Where we can get the problem? It is from a question. Just like when you get a question in your exercise, bounce a ball, okay, create a program where a ball bouncing all around the screen. So that is your problem. So now you need to analyze what is your input, what is your process if any, and what is your output. Okay, that is what we have in the problem analysis, right? Then we go to the program design. This program design where we wrote the algorithm. The algorithm divide into three. The algorithm itself, and then the pseudocode or a flowchart. But all these three, if you use any of these three, doesn't matter as long as they can still convert, okay, the program design into the code. Okay, program design is not that you draw the output, no. Okay, but you create or you wrote the pseudocode, you wrote the algorithm, or you wrote, okay, or you design the flowchart. Okay, and then we have the program coding. So this program coding is from this design. The program design is based on the analysis. Okay, so all these three are related. The coding, if your program design are good, okay, that means you can simply convert your program design into a coding. Don't worry, I will teach you. And then of course, after you code your program, the application, you will do the testing and debugging. Do testing. You will test whether it's working or not. And then you will do the maintenance. You maintain the program, and of course you need to do a documentation. But doing a documentation doesn't mean it must do at the end of your work. No. It can be started from when you start the analysis, the problem. Okay, clear? Yeah. Okay, so at the end of this lecture, I hope everyone will be able to define the algorithm and write the pseudocode or the algorithm or the flowchart. Okay, the outcome is very simple. How to define the algorithm. Okay, so the introduction. So let's we go, okay, to the programming life cycle first. All the things that I mentioned here, it is related to the programming life cycles. Okay, so what is the programming life cycles? It's a framework that uses certain techniques in computer program development. It doesn't matter which programming language that you use. You need these programming life cycles. Okay, usually we will use a methodology. Which kind of method we use to create or to develop a program, to develop a system, to develop an application. So usually the first thing that we will do is we analyze the problem. That is the first thing. Okay, so what is the life cycle? Life cycle is referred to the changes made from an old to a new program. So when we have this, when you use the methodology or the life cycles, okay, you will know, okay, where if you want to change the program, someone is unmuted, his or her mute, okay, okay, microphone, please, okay, okay, so when we follow the methodology or the life cycle, okay, to develop our application, it's very easiest if we have a trouble or if we want to recreate, okay, like we have an old version of the software, then we want to make a new one or we want to enhance, okay, the previous program. So we use this life cycle where we want to start. Is it we need to start from the first stage, which is the analysis stage, or we just can start from the program design? So we can start from where we want to start. Okay, so this is the step involved or stage involved in the programming life cycles. This one is the basic one. Okay, the basic step or stages involved in the programming life cycles. The first one is the problem analysis, and then program design, and then program coding, then testing and debugging, then we do the maintenance, and then documentation. We compile the documentation. Okay, if you want to ask a question, when you unmute your microphone, make sure you say miss. Okay, do not just open your microphone and then didn't say anything, because I cannot see you right now, guys. Please, Okay, what is problem solving? Okay, when you want to create a program or application, okay, the programming is a process of solving or problem solving. You solve a problem. When you have a manual system, like previously the registration system is doing manually. Student need to fill up the manual form. So when you analyze, okay, the problem, you said that, oh, this registration can be converted into one registration system, a computerized registration system, where you can store all the database. So the students don't have to register through the manual form anymore. They just can register through the system. Okay, so that is you solve the problem. Okay, so the problem solving technique, when we want to solve a problem, we have the techniques. First is we analyze the problem. What is the problem? And we outline all the requirement for each of the problem. Okay, manual registration using a paper form. So that is the first problem. So what is the outline requirement for that problem? Make it into a computerized, you say. And then the next one is we design a step to solve the problem. This is where we use algorithm, okay, where we had the pseudocode, flowchart, and the algorithm itself. So the algorithm is the step-by-step of the problem solving process. So the solution achieved in finite amount of time. When you have this algorithm, okay, for you to design the code, to program the code will be very easy. I will show you after this with the sample. Okay. So make sure you log into your Snap. I will show you after this with the sample. So make sure you open the Snap. Okay. Then the problem solving process. We know that we need to analyze the problem first. Okay, this first step, we need to analyze the problem. So outline the problem and its requirement. You design the step to solve the problem. And the step 2, you implement the algorithm. Implementing the algorithm in code. So you need to verify that the algorithm works. When you already have the code algorithm, you convert them into a code. Make sure the algorithm is working. If you convert the algorithm into a code and it doesn't work, the code doesn't work, that means your algorithm is having a problem. When your algorithm having a problem, you need to you need to check the problem analysis. Is it correct with your problem analysis? So you need to check that. Okay? And then the last one is maintenance. The last step in problem solving is maintenance. So use and modify the program if the problem domain. Okay. When we say problem analysis, the first thing, understand. You see, understand, then divide. That means you need to understand the problem. When you get the questions, you need to understand the question carefully throughout the problem. You need to understand truly the problem. You need to look at the question, read carefully. Is it having an input? Is it having a process? Is it having an output? A question can have no input, no process, but it must have an output. It depends on the question given. For your situation, it depends on the question lah. Okay? So you need to understand the problem requirement. As I mentioned, does program require user interaction? This user interaction means the input. When we say user interaction, means you give a user to interact with a keyboard that will be maybe you make your program run. Make your program having or getting an input or value from the user. Does program manipulate data, the process? And what is the output? And then after that, you divide. If the problem is complex, means you get a lot or long questions. So the problem is complex. Divide into a sub-problem. Make a sub-problem. Analyze each of the sub-problem. When you analyze each of the sub-problem, you will find out the input, the process, and the output easily. Okay. Okay. The purpose of having a problem analysis is to describe in detail a solution to a problem and information needed in solving the problem. So how? Similar, understand. But this time around, we need to study and understand the problem. Identify the needed input. You see, input and process, it just mentioned needed. Needed input, needed process. That means sometimes the problem doesn't need an input, doesn't need a process. If a simple question, but if a big or huge problem, of course, we will have all these three, input, output, and process. But when it comes to output, it said the required output. I'm asking you, creating a program without the output, is it a program? Like in tutorial, even we create a very simple program in our tutorial for these first 2 weeks, okay, first 2 weeks, still we get an output, right? We get an output even though we didn't ask the user to enter any value. Okay, good, Dinesh. Okay, when we don't have output, then what is the purpose we create a program? What is the purpose we create an application? So we need or we require the output because a user want to see the output. Okay, they didn't see the process. What is the process? Process is the scientific formula or any hypothesis. any hypothesis, any scientific formula like operator, using the operator, that is a process. Okay. Okay. Before we go to our example, we need to know about the analysis and the algorithm first. Then we will go to the example. Okay. Okay. So why we need the algorithm after we analyze the problem? The importance of algorithm is we want all our desired output to become correct. Always return what we want. Okay? Unambiguous, precise, efficient. It can be measured in terms of time, space, and time student to be more important. So when we have this algorithm, it will take less in writing a code direct because we already have this algorithm. We just convert the algorithm into a program, into a coding. So it will save our time. Okay? Okay, so how? A single algorithm can be represented in many ways, like formulas, using a words, using a flowchart, using a pseudocode. So in each of the case, the algorithm stay the same. Just the implementation differs. The thing that you will learn is the flowchart pseudocode. Okay? The process is the activity of the executing a program or execute the algorithm represented by the program. Okay? So the two steps of program development is you discover the algorithm and represent the algorithm as a program. Okay? But step 2 is the easiest one. Because when you already wrote the algorithm, it will be easiest to represent the algorithm into a program. Step 1 can be very difficult. Why? Because if you wrongly identify or analyze the problem, your algorithm also can lead to a wrong algorithm or pseudocode or flowchart. So when your algorithm already wrong, of course your program also will be wrong, having an error. So that's why they say step 1 can be very difficult. So you need to know first how to analyze the problem. Okay, so to discover an algorithm is to solve the problem. That's why I say you need to analyze the problem. You need to know how to analyze the problem. Of course, I will give you a lot of exercise regarding this. Okay, because this is an issue for a lot of students regarding how to analyze the problem. So don't worry about it. Okay, so let's go to the problem analysis before we go to the algorithm. Okay, before we go to the program design, the algorithm, okay, the flowchart, and then the pseudocode. So first, I give you a questions. The question is a problem. Who always unmute yourself, If you want to ask a question, you call me first. Okay, so this is a question. The question is asking you to write a program that will calculate and display the average of 3 numbers. So remember what you need to analyze. Input, okay, process, and output. Okay, guys, I'm asking you, what is the input? Do you think that we have an input? Do you think that we get any data from the user? What is the input? Don't worry if wrong. Okay? What is the input? Okay. So 5 of you answer. Harish, Fathi, Lauzian, Sutesh, and Mishha. You answer. Okay, numbers. The integers, 3 numbers. So correct. The input will be the 3 numbers. So usually we will give them the variable name straightforward. Okay, the variable name straightforward. Num1, num2, and num3. We give the representation of num1, num2, and num3. So that is the input. Okay, good, correct, 5 of you. And what is the process? Is it we have any scientific process or any mathematical operator here? Is it we have it? What is the process? Okay, Sutesh and Fathi. Okay, Harish. Okay, correct, average of the 3 numbers. So you have the operation, the mathematic operation. You must write the mathematic operation, the process. So what is the process? Is the average equals to num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. If you don't want to put its num1, num2, num3, it's up to you. If you want to put number 1, number 2, number 3, also can. Okay, it can be any name here. Okay, guys. So and then what is the output? Yes, okay. The output must be the average because it say display the average of the 3 numbers. Very good. Okay. So did you guys take a note? Did you guys take a note on this? Okay, good. Okay, then we look into it one by one, okay? So input num1, num2, num3. If let's say user enter a value of 7, a value of 21, a value of 22, okay? So we have the process. The process will be average equals to num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. So we will enter, actually it's not we will enter, the system will enter the value that the user entered, okay, to 7 for num1, 21 to num2, and 32 to num3 divided by 3, then we will get the output of the average, which is 20. So this is how it works. Okay? Okay, so next, I give you another questions. Okay, guys. The second problem. Write a program that will convert length in kilometer to meter and centimeter. So tell me, what is the input? Is there any input? Is there any input? I can see a lot of you already can get the tune after the first question. Very good. I like it. Yes. Okay. The answer is the length in kilometer because it said that write a program that will convert length in kilometer. So the input must be the length of kilometer. Just I give a name kilometer length. So if you want to put length km also can, no problem. Okay, that one is depend on you. Okay, how you want to write the name, give the name. Okay, clear? Very good, very nice guys. So what is the process? What is the process? Kilometer multiply 1000, then multiply 100. Okay. 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 The process will be the converting formula to convert the kilometer to meter and centimeter. So it will be, it's not 1000 Convert the meter length to kilometer to meter length, it will be multiplied by 1000. And convert the kilometer length to centimeter length, it will be 100,000. So the kilometer must be multiplied by 100,000. So it's not 100 guys, it's 100,000 Okay, so that is the formula. You must remember the formula. When we get the question, you must remember the formula. The formula will not be given usually, but it will be like lucky if the lecturer given the formula during the test or anything, or during the exercise, but usually it won't give you the formula. We need to find the formula. Then what is the output? What is the output? Okay, yes. Okay, the output will be the meter and centimeter. Correct. Okay, so let's insert the data. So let's say I insert kilometer length 20. Okay, and then the process will be 20 multiply 1000 for meter length and 20 multiply 100,000 for centimeter. So the answer will be 20,000 and 2 million. So this is how you analyze the problem. Okay, so for this problem analysis, we want to convert them into the algorithm, flowchart, and the pseudocode. Okay, we want to convert them. Very confident, you guys? You are very confident, you guys? Regarding your assignment question, I'm very sorry. I'm still waiting, okay, for the paper to verify, okay, by my colleague, okay. So once the questions already verified, I will upload in the Moodle and we will discuss about the questions, okay. You guys are very confident, I will give you the formula. Okay, so let's go. Program design. This is where we need the algorithm. So it's a framework or flow that show the step in the problem solving, the problem analysis that we have done previously. So what is the algorithm? We already know algorithm is sequence of instruction to solve a problem, but we usually written the algorithm in human language. That means in our English language usually. Okay, usually we wrote in English language. Yes, you can write in your own language like maybe in Mandarin or in any other language, but why we use English? English is the language that everyone understand and widely or globally used. Okay, so a programmer writes the problem solving in the form of an algorithm before we coding it into computer language. After this part, I will show you how to convert them into a program. So be ready your snap. Okay, so what is the algorithm? The idea behind the computer program is to stay the same independent of which kind of hardware is running on, which program language it is written in. It will solve a well-specified problem in a general way. Okay, it's specified by we describe the set of input, the instances it must work on, and describing the desired properties of the output. Okay, so the first one, we have these average three numbers. So this is how we wrote the algorithm. We just wrote input three numbers. We know our input is a three numbers, and then we calculate the average with the formula, and then we wrote the formula and we display the average. This is algorithm. We use only our human language. That is algorithm. This is your input, this is your process, and this is your output. Easy. Okay? But when it comes to pseudocode and flowchart, okay, pseudocode is a step in problem solving that is written in half in a programming code and half in human language. So the example is like this. Because you need the input. Okay, when we say you need the input in Snap or BYOB or Scratch, we do have the ask command. So you can use ask, or you can use read, or you can use input itself. So ask number 1, number 2, number 3 means we are asking the input from the user. And then we didn't explain. We didn't say that, okay, calculating the formula. No. We straightforward write the formula. So in our situation, okay, in our Snap situation, we will have this set average. It will go to set average 2. And then with the formula. Okay. So this is how we wrote, because we combine half programming code, half human language. Okay, and then output, the average. It can be output, it can be display, but I choose to use the BYOB or Snap or Scratch display text, which is say. That's why it becomes say average. Okay. So, but pseudocode, it must start with start and it must end with and keyword. Okay. So you must use a combination of your programming language and the human language. It will be a slight different with the algorithm, but it still give you the same coding. Clear? Clear? Okay, so next we will go to the flowchart. So this is flowchart. Flowchart, we depends on the shape. Okay, trapezium shape is for input and output. Okay, rectangle shape is for the process, and diamond shape is for the decision. This one we will learn in chapter control structure, the decision statement. So for now, you need to know about this shape only. Input and output, process, and the start and end. Start and oval, the oval shape, okay, the round oval shape, okay. Input output is the the trapezium is the input or output, and then rectangle is process. So if you look here, okay, if you look here, it can be directly input num1, num2, num3, average, and output. So it's obviously based on the shape and based on our problem analysis here. Okay, it depends on our problem analysis here. Where's my analysis just now? So it depends from here. So that is how you wrote the flowchart. So let's go to the second question. Okay, going to second question, I want to see how you wrote the, okay, how you wrote the, okay. So this one is algorithm. Algorithm, I give you guys, okay, I give you the statement. So this one, if you want to set, okay, the meter and centimeter initial value. So if you don't want to set them into an initial value, you can remove. You don't have to add the initial value. Okay, you don't have to add the initial value. You can have insert one number for kilometer length, calculate length in meter, calculate length in centimeter, display the meter length and centimeter length. That is how we did. If you don't want to set the initial value, no need to put setting the initial value. Usually we like to reset. Why we set the initial value? Because usually we want to reset the value of the meter and centimeter whenever we start the program into 0. That's why we set the initial value. Okay. So what happened with the pseudocode? How you want to write in a pseudocode? Who want to answer? Who want to answer? Who want to answer? It's okay. Start as kilometer, formula for conversion. Why you didn't complete, Fathi? Okay, Pujun you start as kilometer, meter length equals to kilometer, say meter length, centimeter length, and okay, so correct. Pu Junyu once correct. Fatihi is not complete. You cannot write like formula for conversion. Cannot. Okay, you cannot. In your pseudocode, if you just wrote formula for conversion, I asking you. Okay. Can you convert them into a program? It can lead you to have a wrong conversion formula. So when we say pseudocode, writing the program's design, you must put in detail. All the formula must be written. You cannot just simply put a formula for conversion. Cannot. Okay? You cannot. That means your pseudocode cannot be converting into a program. Okay? Okay, correct Junyu. Okay, Sutesh. Okay, correct how you forgot? We already have in the previous slide Okay, Sutesh also correct. So for me, I have this because previously in my algorithm, I put the initial value. So if you don't put also can. Okay, if you didn't want to insert the initial value also can. So this is how you wrote the pseudocode. You ask the kilometer length, this is input, this is the process, meter equals to kilometer multiply 1000, centimeter equals to kilometer multiply 100,000, and the output will be meter and centimeter. Correct Junyu and Sutesh, okay? It must be detailed when we wrote the pseudocode. Congratulations Junyu and Sutesh. Fatihi, okay lah. At least you try, okay? At least you try, okay? Congrats as well, Fatihi. But you must put in details, okay? You cannot say that you forgot. I have given you the slide. You have it here, the formula. So you cannot say you forgot, because the formula already given. Even in the problem analysis, you said that you already copy the formula, jot down the formula. Okay, so this is our flow chart. So initial value, setting the initial value consider as a process. So that's why we put it in a rectangle shape. Okay, setting an initial value is considered a process. That is why we put it in a rectangle shape. So creating a flowchart, you must remember the shape. Okay, oval for the start and end, start and termination. Okay, rectangle process, trapezium input. So this is what you need to remember. Okay, if you think you will forgot everything, take a note. Take a note. You already have the slide, right? You can take a note. You can write a note beside your slide. Okay, beside your flowchart here. You can take a note. Okay. Oval shape is start and termination. Okay. Rectangle is process. Okay. Trapezium is input and output. That is what you need to remember. Okay. It's not missing, guys. It's not missing. Okay. You need, okay. Of course, the slide is not missing. Okay. If you ask me the slide before the class, of course, some slide will, some content will not be appear. As the content should be answered and do it by everyone during the class. If you get the slide with the answer, then it's not working anymore. Okay. So you can draw the flowchart. You can draw the flowchart during the class session. It's not missing, guys. That is not missing. Okay. That's why I ask you to jot down, write down. It's not that it's missing. Okay, because the slide is tend to do it together with the students. So if you get the answer before we discuss the before we discuss about the question, so then it won't meet the purpose of the learning. That's why it's not that suddenly disappear. No, content will be different. But if the slide given after the class, the slide will be you will get the slide with the similar content that we learned during the class. Before the class, the slide will be slightly different. Okay. So you need to take a note. From this, we will know which student take a note during the class and focus, listening, and which student didn't. Good, Sutesh. Very good. That show that, okay, it show that you focusing during the class. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. So let's proceed to snap. We will use the first sample here. We will use the first and second sample. Let's proceed to snap. Okay. Let me proceed to snap. I will show you how to convert from the pseudocode into the program design, because after this is the program design part. Program coding, program design. Okay, program coding. The program coding is very important. When we wrote the design part, okay, in a correct way, so our program coding also will be correct. So let's go. Here is my snap. Okay, I will have a new one. Okay. Okay. So I will use this. We can choose whichever we want to. We want to start. So I will use the start as when a green flag click. If you don't want to use the sprite, the turtle sprite, you can change the turtle sprite. Okay, as usual, you can go to costume. Okay. Who want to ask about the average? Average lah. Average. Okay. So average. Okay. So when the green flag click, ask number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay. As I mentioned, you must create the variable. Creating a variables, that means you must go to variables. We already learned a few things, okay, a few parts of variables. Okay, go to variables, click at make a variable. Did you guys following me?
Yes.
Make a variable, click and choose for all sprite. During the lecture class, I will explain. Next lecture class. Okay. What is the all sprite? What is the this sprite only? I will explain. But for now, choose for all sprite and give a name. Name for the number 1, number 2, number 3. For me, I will follow my pseudocode. Okay, my input in the problem analysis and the pseudocode num1. So I will have 3 different variable. Okay, num2 and num3. All will be for all sprite. Oh, sorry, num3. Okay. Done? Creating a variable.
Done.
Okay. Now it's time for you to ask the
Sorry, Miss.
user.
Can you show it again?
Make a
I missed
variable.
it.
Click a map variable.
Do you have to insert anything for the
Where have you been?
I was in the toilet just for a minute ago.
That is why, students, if you want to go to leave a class, even though it's online, if you want to leave a class for like for 5 minutes, you must let your lecturer know, not disappear, and then when the lecturer teach you guys, and then suddenly you say you didn't know. So you must let the lecturer know, even though you want to go for a toilet break, because even it's an online class, lecturer cannot see you. So you must let lecturer know, You must change this attitude, guys, You must have the lecturer know. You must get a permission saying, Miss, can I go to the toilet? So maybe we can think to stop for 5 minutes or for 1 minute or 2 minutes, okay? Before we proceed. Go to make a variable, and then write the variable name. Okay. Done? Done? Everyone done? Samuel done?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So 3 variables, Make sure you create 3 variables, and then asking the user for the input. When we say input, means it gets the inputs, the value from the keyboard. The user enter value. So what you need to do? Go to sensing palettes, command palette, sensing, bring us. Okay, you will have 3 different us. First is asking to enter the first number. Or you can put the enter first integer. Up to you. First number, first integer, up to you. Up to you how you want to asking the user. Okay? Because we didn't specific on how we want to ask the user here. We said ask num1, num2, num3. So it depends on us how we want to ask the user. Enter first number. And then we go to variable. We must store the data that entered by user into the variable number 1. So you need to bring the set command. And then you click the drop down arrow here and choose num1 to go back to sensing and answer. So the answer that the user enter will be stored in the variable num1. So if you lazy to go ask a question again, just right click and duplicate. So when you duplicate, don't forget to change some value. Don't forget to change some value. Second, set change to num2. Need to follow, need to change. If very lazy again, just duplicate. Just duplicate and change to enter third number. And then set to num3. So we have an answer that the user enter, the data that the user enter will be stored to num1, num2, and num3. If you're asking me, Miss, we didn't wrote this one in our pseudocode. Don't worry. Don't worry. Asking or read an input already involve everything. We already know. So when read, that means it get the input. So we already know it will store in the variable. Okay. Clear? Clear? Samuel?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yeah, miss.
Okay, can you follow now?
Yeah. Can.
Okay. Everyone clear? This one I just straightforward convert from pseudocode. Okay. Then the next is our process. Average equals to num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. So how we want to get the average? So we create another one variable, make a variable for all sprite and name them as average. Okay. Then bring a set average to using the mathematical operator. Divide and then plus and then we have another plus because we have three numbers, right? So in this column, you must bring your variable because you already store the value into the variable. So bring the variable num1 plus num2 plus num3. Divide by what? Divide by 3. And the last one, you say you want to display the average. Go to looks, say average. Bring the average variable, put inside here. That's why I say Snap, BYOB, and Scratch is like a puzzle. Okay, so when you green flag click, you enter 3. We enter 3, we enter 3. So it will be 9. 9, the average will be 3. So if you get the average correct, that means your formula, your process, your program are working and correct. It's definitely like your pseudocode. This is how you convert. When your pseudocode is correct, of course, your program also will be correct. So if you change the value, you say value first is 2, and then value and second number is 10, 12. Okay, 12. So you have 9. So 21 divided by 3, correct or not? 7. So correct, it will be 7. So it's working. That is how you wrote the program. Okay. Did you get the output? Did you get the output? Good.
Can you show me how you put the division, like divided by 3?
Go to operator.
Yes, ma'am. I'm there, but my placement is not correct.
You need to rearrange the placement. You need to know we have this division. Okay. So divide by 3. So that means how you want to insert the plus. You need to check. Okay, guys. For saying average, sometimes you want to have a text. You say that you want to say your average is Something like that. You want to say something like that. Your average is, you don't want to appear only the numbers of the average. So what you can do, guys, you can use a join statement or operator. Join operator, you put inside the hello position or hello column here, and then put average here. Okay, then you can have your average. Okay, then make a space, so there will be a space between your average. Okay, so it will give you a sentences with the average value. So for example, you put 5, 4, 6. So your average is 5. So it will be like more clear with the average instead of we give the average value only. So if you want to combine, okay, a multiple text along with the variable, use a join statement. Use a join statement. Okay. Clear? Clear, guys? Okay, good. So can we proceed with the slide? Okay. Okay, I will proceed with the slide. For the second question, you can try. Second question, you can try. But for first, I would like to finish the slide. I like to finish the slide first. Because some of you are going to for the vaccine. Then after that, we will continue. Then students who have the vaccine appointment, you can later watch for the second problem, coding. But for now, we finish the slide first. Okay. So then the problem, program coding. We have done the program coding. How we do the program coding? First, we analyze the problem. When we analyze the problem, okay, we design the program. When we design the program, we can easily convert the design program into a coding. So we solve the problem using a programming language such as C, C++, COBOL, BYOB, Snap, Scratch, Python, and many more. The instruction before it is coded into a programming language. So to produce a program that can solve the problem. Why we create a program coding? Because we want to solve the problem. Any problem that we had, okay, or we face, okay, so we want to solve the problem. Like when we get the AP space, okay, the AP space was created to solve a problem issue like to check our timetable, okay, what else, to see okay, to see our our attendance and many more. That is the problem that they solve with creating the AP space. Okay, the purpose of we create the AP space. Then we go to the testing. When we say testing, just now when we click the green flag click, that is where we test. Okay, we do the testing on our program. Okay, we insert a data, we insert a value for num1, num2, and num3 to discover any errors and to ensure accuracy of the program. So the testing process will be indicates the input sample of data set. That's why we have the input num1, num2, and num3. And then we execute the program. And then we see the output. Is it the output giving us the value that we want, the average, or we get an error? That's why we do the testing. Okay? So the testing is assumed that the program to find the average of the three numbers has been coded. So execute the program using a few numbers. Just now we enter a few numbers, right? First we enter 3 plus 3 plus 3, then we enter 2, okay, plus 10, and then plus 9, okay, and then after that we enter 5 plus 5, 5 plus 4 plus 6. Okay, we enter a different numbers, okay, to test the program to verify whether the result is as we expected or not. Then we get the output. When we get the output, that means our code is correct. Okay, so the example is when we insert the input, like this input 4, 5, 8, 7, 8, and 6. Okay, so when from the output, has the program produced the expected result? You need to check this one. That is the things of with the testing and debugging. Okay, so debugging is when we get an error. Any error that we face known as a bug. Bug is not a butterfly, it's a bug for the errors. Okay. So debugging is a process of identifying and correcting the errors. We have three types of errors, syntax error, logic error, and runtime error. Do not think that you write a program, you don't face or you don't have to think about a grammar. Okay, syntax error also known as grammatical error. Okay, so let's we go one by one. Syntax error occur when the rules of programming language are not applied. Correction is done during the programming coding. So the bug can be traced during the compilation process when running the compiler on the program. So also known as compile time error. It must be it must be corrected before you execute them. Let's say when you run the program, suddenly it's not running. So you must fix the error first. Then you can proceed, okay, with running your program again. Logic error is an error that occurs because of the logical statement in program is wrong. Just now, like we fought just now, putting the operator symbol in a wrong position, okay, it can give you an error. The output also will be wrong. It cannot be traced by compiler. It still can run as usual. But suddenly your output, okay, supposed to be 2, but it become 4. That means your operator is not correct. That's why I asked you to rearrange your operator. Okay, you must, sometimes it can be happen because of during the problem solving process, or sometimes during when you wrote the mathematical operator. It can be something like that happen also. Okay, runtime errors, it occur during program execution, runtime. So normally occur when the Java Virtual Machine, is a JVM, detects an operation that is known to be incorrect. It causes the JVM to throw an exception. Usually this one, it happens when you use Java. Okay, example of runtime errors include division by 0, array index out of bounds, number format errors, null pointer exception. Usually this runtime error happen if you use a Java programming language. You can see this error coming. Okay. Maintenance. Maintenance means activity that verifies whether the operational system is performing as planned or an activity to modify the system to meet the current requirement. Okay, so that means once you have done everything, you already you already create your application, and then suddenly you got a comment from user comment that asks you to modify. Okay, that's why they ask you to change. So the process of changing a system after it has been applied to maintain its ability. That is why when you install any application or software, they always ask you to update because they do the maintenance to fix the bugs, to fix any error, to fix any comments that coming from the user. Okay, so the changes may involve simple changes such as error correcting. It's not like a very huge changes usually. Okay. So what maintenance that you can do? Okay, you can do testing, test the ability of the system. You can do the measurement. You can access data time. Okay, example time to save, print, and others. Okay, you can do the replacement, replace the old system to new system. Okay, you can do the adjustment, adding needs to new system. Okay, you can repair. Maybe you don't want to replace the old to new system, but you want to repair only. Okay, so example, the old system cannot update the new data, so you can repair and add-ons. Okay, do the adjustment. Okay, that the old system can update the new data. So updating, okay, can update the database. Sometimes when we write the program, it cannot be updating the database. So you must do the maintenance, keep update the database. Okay, clear? Clear? Okay. Okay, so documentation. Okay, what is the documentation? I think everyone know. It's a written or graphical report, some things that we wrote, okay, of the step taken during the development of a program. The purpose is it will be always useful in the future. In case we need to modify or we need to maintaining our program or application. So the documentation will be very useful and important. But please take a note. You don't perform documentation all at the end of the programming life cycle. Instead, what usually happens is that you write the documentation along the way, and at the last step, double check to make sure that all documentation have been completed. So when you get the question of your assignment after this, you can start with your documentation as well. Because in the documentation we have this program analysis, so you need to we have the program design and we have the program coding. So you can start along with your when you write the program. Okay, usually content that we had in the documentation, like the description of the program, who will use it, your target user, what is your objective. Okay, what is your objective when you want to create the application? So specification of program requirement, okay, program design such as pseudocode and flowchart, a list of program and comments to explain about the program, but this one we don't have in our documentation for individual assignment. Okay, test result, your testing result, okay, user manual book, and program capabilities and limitation. Okay, it's not variable and Boolean. Next week we learn the computational thinking. Any question? Any question, guys? Before we continue with our second questions, any questions? All good. Okay, good. Okay, so if all good, so now let we proceed to our next problem. Problem number 2. So let we save the file. Okay, so we can save. Oh, you are not logged in. So some of you happen to get this error, right? So if you get this error and you check here, you are logged in. But what happened? Okay. So you need to go to the snap. Maybe you didn't log in here. You must log in both. You must log in both. You must log in both. Then you can save the file. Okay. See, you must log in both. Okay. So here we go. I save the file. Lecture. We already week 3. We are week 2 or week 3, guys. See, I forget already.
I think it's week 2.
Okay. Okay. So what we want to save is the average of the numbers. Okay. Average number. Okay, I will just give a name average numbers. Okay, so now we already save it. Next, we open a new one. I will change the costume. Okay, so the costume I will use a car costume since it's a kilometer. So I will use car costume. Where's the car costume? Okay. Where's my car? Okay, here my car. So I want to use this car. Okay. Okay, I will use car. Okay. So remember our pseudocode. So ask the meter length. Okay. So choose how you want to start. Green flag or space key press. So I choose to use a space key press. Then we ask the meter length. Don't forget to, okay, ask a meter length. So, sorry, ask the kilometer length. Okay, so enter the kilometer length or value, up to you. Okay, up to you how you want to write the questions. So don't forget, guys, to create your variable, 3 variables. Kilometer. So if you want to follow your pseudocode, I will follow my pseudocode. So I will have the kilometer length, km length. Okay, meter length, m length. Okay, and then the centimeter length, cm length. 3 only. Okay, so then we will set the kilometer to answer. This is directly from the pseudocode. So then we have the 2 different operation process. So set meter length to multiply. Okay, kilometer length multiply 1000. Okay, and then we set the centimeter length to kilometer length multiply 100,000. Then we display the centimeter length and meter length. So display, I will use say. Say, I will join because I want to join 2 kilometer length. I want to join meter length and centimeter length in. Okay, so I will say, okay, kilometer in meter is, okay, I will bring meter length. If you want to have more, you can add more by clicking this one, but if you don't want, you don't have to add. Okay. 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 Yes. Mine. Okay. Yes, Asfa. Like me, I already log in from the Snap interface, but still cannot. It say that I'm still logged out, so I need to log in as well from here. Even I already log in from here, I still need to log in from here. So that is what I face every time. I need to log in both. Okay. Okay, then if you want to have a different say, you can have a different say because different this output. So, oh sorry, I already play. Okay. So here we go, join again. So you can have, okay, 2 seconds is too short. You can put in 3 seconds. So you can say that kilometer in cm is, okay, and then the centimeter length. Okay, then when you press the space bar, it will ask you. So I will just enter 20. Remember the value that we had, okay, in our slide, 20. So kilometer, 20,000. Kilometer in centimeter is 2 million. 1, 2. Correct. So that is the answer. But when you start again, it's still having the same okay, data. But don't worry, they will replace. Okay, don't worry, they will replace. That is why I like to set the initial value at the beginning. The meter length to 0. Okay, the centimeter length to 0. Because whenever I start the new, okay, running a new, then they will automatically change to 0. So if you want to reset your kilometer length to 0 as well, can. No issue. Okay. So if let's say you want to add kilometer, you add 10. Okay. So it will be 10,000 and then it will be 100,000. So this is the basic pseudocode. So if you want to add additional things, such as you want to add a sound, okay, you want to add a sound like, okay, a motor sound. So you can go and add a sound. This one you don't have, but we don't have the sound of motor sound. Okay, maybe I can import from my own, okay, from my own BYOB file. Okay, for my own BYOB file. Now my media, BYOB media file. So maybe we can have the, okay, maybe we can have the effects. We don't have the motor sound, a car passing. Okay, we have the car passing. So I can add the car passing. This one you don't have to write in the pseudocode. This one is the additional things you add. So I say I will play a sound. Okay. Okay, I will play a sound here. I will play a sound here. Okay. Car passing. So when I play, I enter the value 20. They will play the sound. So if you want to make your car move, okay, you want to make your car move, also can. Also can. If you want to make your car move, so also can. That one will be additional if you want to add on. This one we already add on. We make them become more useful. The program more useful, more interactive. So if let's say you want to add your car movement, okay, you can go here. Okay, you can make it motion. I will make it go to, but I will not make it go to 0, 0 because it will be center. But I will make it go to here. Okay, I will make it go to here. But I didn't know the coordinate. I didn't know the coordinate. So remember, it will be 240, negative 240. So, okay. So you can go to, let's say you say negative 33. Sorry. Okay, you can check first, for the go to here. You can check negative 240. And maybe you can okay, you can have it -25. -25, something like this. Okay, it from here. Okay, it from here. But maybe you want to, okay, if you play, enter the kilometer length, you enter 10, okay, and then it will be from here, okay. So let's say you want to glide to center when they appear this one, so you can have glide 1 second, they will bring, okay, you can see here, you can add on here, and then you enter, okay. But it doesn't glide, right? It doesn't glide because we just add on. So let's replay again. So we add 20. Your car is moving. Okay? Your car is moving. You create one animation. From a one simple problem that you solve the problem by analyze the problem, and then you make into a pseudocode, then you add on additional features, it become one car is moving with getting the input from the user. Get it?
Miss, I have a question.
Yes, Ashfa?
Yeah, is there a way to to show both the meter and the centimeter value together in
Yes,
one speech bubble?
yes. You combine them in a join. Add on join here. So you don't have two say, you only one have one say. So you combine here. As I mentioned, if you want to combine, you add one more. Then combine here.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
But for me, I don't want. Okay? For me,
All
I
right.
don't. I want to have two different. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is it interesting? From one simple problem, you can make them one animated program with a one simple pseudocode. Is it interesting, guys? Okay, good. So, did you guys understand? Do you have any questions before I give you the attendance? Because like before, the attendance cannot be scanned by you. Do you have any questions? You have question. Okay, what is it, Zian?
I understand, Miss.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. It's just week 2. Of course, it's just week 2. Okay. We will learn more. Don't worry. Okay. Just that's why I'm asking you. If you want to go for a toilet, you must inform me, because this programming is not something that we can go back again. Because we sometimes, when we already started, it will take more than our class 2 hours. Okay. So that's why I didn't like. It's not that I don't allow you to go for a toilet break. Just let me know. Let me know, then we will slow down, or we can wait for a while. Okay. So just let me know, because this programming, I understand some of you need to focus, okay, or learn more, or take a time to get used with them, okay, with the programming. So just let me know. Oh, like after 1 hour, right, Moonheng? Okay. After 1 hour, after 1 hour, we have a break during the lecture class. Because lab usually after 1 hour is already your exercise part, right? Can? Can? Can. Don't worry, can. So starting next week, after 1 hour of our lecture class, we will have our break, 5-minute break. So for those who want to get a toilet break, you can do on that time. Okay, deal. Huh? Deal, guys. Okay. I know, I understand this issue, okay? Doing physical class is easy. When you want to go to toilet, you stand up and then I will realize, then you will say that, toilet, something like that, okay? So I understand. But doing the online, I cannot see you guys. So you need to inform me, okay? So it's a deal, Now, starting next week, during the lecture class, after 1 hour, we stop for 5 minutes. You guys can also remind me, okay, to have a break for 5 minutes. Remind me, because sometimes I honestly telling you, when I get excited teaching my student, I also forget about the 5-minute break. So remind me about that break. Okay? Clear, guys? Is everything okay, guys? Okay. So I will stop the recording. Okay, I will stop the recording and I will give you the attendance, okay?